The zchus of hearing from 8 Messiahim, not necessarily Messiahim of finishing a Masechta, but 8 Chevra who are finishing their Shir Bet year, and each will be short and brief. I don't know if there's going to be time in the end for Sicha for Shana Aleph or Bet, but therefore we're going to have to front load the Niggunim. Just in case, you know. So that's a good idea. Okay, hopefully everyone knows this by now. Okay, it's always tough to be the first person, so therefore we're going to skip right to the second.
It's not a good beginning.
Gavi.
Okay.
I'll do it. I don't care. I'll do it.
Aaron, are you ready? Aaron Gersch!
As many of you know, unfortunately I'll be heading back into Golis next week on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, in the month of Gula. While I have everyone in a public forum, I'd just like to quickly take time to apologise for anything I may have wronged, for anyone I may have wronged on purpose or by accident. And if anything comes to mind, please come up to me. I want to write it before I leave. I just wanted to share while I'm here, one of my biggest lessons I learned while being in yeshiva, from yeshiva. Last year, right at the end of yeshiva, all the rebellion were going on about you must create a plan how to basically stay Jewish during the summer or the rest of your life, depending on where you're going. And to be honest, I kind of ignored it. I kind of said, yeah, I'll figure it out after I go to camp. I'll do a little learning camp, which I did. I don't know how, but I did. And I thought I'll figure it out. I'll create a cover, so I'll figure it out afterwards. Then the day after I got back from camp, I had surgery on my foot. This meant I was in bed, in pain, depressed for about 8 weeks. This really knocked any non-existent plan out of the window. And I was just in a bad place. I was completely off the air. I didn't learn, I didn't read daven, I didn't put tefillin on, I didn't do anything. But Baruch Hashem, I came back Shana Bet, and that really did save me. I'm not sure where I would be if I didn't actually come back Shana Bet. I would have, I really don't know where I'd be. And then my chavrusa decided to come back, Hanan Kra, from Shana Aleph. And Hanan has many wonderful things I could say about Hanan. One of the things he shares and teaches me every day is to see Yad Hashem. He sees Yad Hashem in everything. Good, bad, great, small, big, small, whatever. He sees Yad Hashem in everything, like Ashi. And this kind of started to wear off on me a little bit. And this made me wonder, why did Hashem made this happen to me? Why did this happen? Why did I have to go through this experience? And I don't know, it came that maybe it's because I wasn't prepared. I didn't create a plan, that I just became depressed. I treated my family awfully. It was not a good time. Maybe it's because I wasn't ready. And maybe it's a wake-up call that I need to start actually preparing and ready for when I don't have this wonderful opportunity full of inspiration in yeshiva. So that's really my one big takeaway. It's to make good plans. And in fact, we were just learning this week, I won't say the whole thing, but the Tiferes Yisrael on the Mishnah in Masechet Kedushin on Daf Mem Amud Bet, he says there are 3 things which you should do every day and have in your Seder Hayom, your daily routine. And you should work on your Amunah. You should learn and learn halacha and practical your actions and what to do, how to live as a halachic Jew. And also work on your midot, how you treat other people. So that's what I've taken away, is to create Seder Hayom that includes working on these aspects, whether it's learning, whether it's trying to better myself with people, my interactions, and I hopefully we could all do the same to not happen what happened to me. Also, Aaron Cohen wanted a shout out, so hi. Kobe wanted a shout out, and also Shua Speck, to be honest. But also thank you everyone here for being inspirations and for being part of my story. Thank you.
So Kwalwasser explicitly said no Torah, so I'm going to be sure not to do that. So we're going to try something fun. You guys can vote. We're either going to do a poem or a grommet. What do you guys want? Okay, so start the Niggunim. Yeshiva Lev HaTorah is the place to be. Where students come to learn who they can be. The seeds of Torah deep in their heart. They'll build relationships that never fall apart. From the Rebbeim, Shir Bet thrives. Learning and growing, they always try. In the company of a great group of guys, filled with love, they reach new highs. And have great food. Learning and growing in a brotherhood. As they build relationships that will never die. And reach new heights in the sky. As their second year comes to an end, they invite Shana Aleph guys to attend, to join the Shir Bet family, grow in Torah and relationships happily. Torah, we know that Torah and love continue to flow. As we invite all Talmidim far and near to come and join us for another year.
Hi everyone. I first wanted to thank all of you, Shana Aleph and Bet, and also of course all the Rebbeim. I'm not going to name them all specifically because there are way too many to thank. So all the Rebbeim, it really changed my life and changed the past 2 years. They really changed my life. So I was a little confused what to speak about when Rav Kwalwasser first asked me. So he basically said I should give my what the past 2 years meant to me, and what experiences, how I grew from the past 2 years. So a little background. I'm from Teaneck, New Jersey, the bubble of Teaneck. I went to TBC, so I was always in that bubble. My perspective on Judaism was a little off. I viewed it originally as everything is about tests. Learning is about tests. You have to learn Gemara. You get a test and you get a grade. Everything is competition. I always believed in Hashem. Just learning and Judaism was a little off. So when I came to yeshiva, and I realized that was not actually what was going on, because there are no tests in yeshiva. So I was like, what's the point of yeshiva if I can get a test? So I slowly realized that Judaism is not just about tests. And in order for me to get built back up, I first had to be taken down a little. So for a month or two, I was like not showing up to here. It was very hard for me to learn. And then it was around this time, around Sfat, Mea Sharim time. I think it was Sfat where it really changed my perspective on Judaism, and it really opened up a whole new perspective, a whole new world up for me. And and since then I grew a lot from then, and I never thought when I always wanted to come back to trying to bet. I never thought I would be able to learn and understand as much as as much as I've learned this year, and it's really incredible what being in yeshiva can change you if you do it the right way and you appreciate it the right way. Yeah, thank you.
And Azi Frogel.
Let's do it. Okay. Today I was able to go to the Kotel. I needed to go to the Kotel for some inspiration on a farewell speech. So thank God it came to me. Ready? So after the disaster of the Chet HaYigel, the Jewish people are commanded to start building the Mishkan. And I think we can take a couple of things from this, right? Because these two events, we can pair them together. It's a cause and effect, right? The cause was what happened. We obviously did the Chet HaYigel, and it was a terrible sin. And what do we have to do? We have to build the Mishkan because of that, right? And what do we do at the Chet HaYigel? What do we use to make the Chet HaYigel? We used all the gold. It says that they all ripped off their earrings, and they all took all the gold that they got, a lot of the gold that they got from Mitzrayim, and they took it to build the Chet HaYigel. And what are we commanded to do to build the Mishkan? It says in Parak Lamed Pasuk that we're commanded to Kechu meitchem truma laHashem kol nidav libo b'ivera as eis trumas Hashem zahav v'kesef nechoshes. Right? We're commanded take from yourself a portion for Hashem. Everyone who is generous of heart shall bring it as the gift of Hashem, gold and silver and copper. Right? So because it's kind of me to connect them, because we sinned with our gold and our money and our material wealth, we're commanded to do the complete opposite. Instead of doing the Avodah Zarah, to serve Hashem with our gold and our riches. The Nefesh Chaim says that people were created, us as humans were created connected, corresponding to the Beis HaMikdash. And every part of our body represents a different part of the Beis HaMikdash. Like, for example, our heart is the Kodesh HaKodashim, right? When we sinned and worshipped the other gods, we, so to speak, we need to, after we sinned and worshipped the other gods, we need to come back. We need to rebuild the Beis HaMikdash that we destroyed, our body that we destroyed by worshiping the other gods. And how do we come back and fix the mistake we made? We have to rebuild the Beis HaMikdash that is our body. By doing what? By doing teshuvah, by doing mitzvahs, by doing Torah, which is actually the real golden riches. Even though a lot of us are leaving, we all need to remember that each and every one of us is a Beis HaMikdash. We are all literally, our body is a Beis HaMikdash. And even though we're going to Chutz La'aretz, hopefully we'll be able to return to the physical Beis HaMikdash b'mehera b'yameinu. Amen.
And Aaron Gersch again.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Posner.
Josh Klinger.
Around probably this time last year, I was roaming the halls of Leva Torah. I was definitely a little bit lost, not exactly sure where I was headed in life. Definitely, I wouldn't say I was the happiest person. And one day I decided, I walked in the base and looked around. It's like me, and I looked around because I wanted to see who was happy here. And what I saw was that the people who were learning Torah, who were feeling the kedusha, they were the happier people. And as Rebbe Nachman of Breslov says, if things aren't going well for a person, he should know that he has some arrogance. So, I think this quote really, is what happened. Like I realized that maybe it wasn't, the yeshiva, the rebbe, and the kids. Maybe there was something about me that I was doing wrong. So I started to think about Shana Bet, and Baruch Hashem, I had some awesome people, Rav Nitana, Rav Kenny. I spoke to them, and I decided, okay, maybe I want to go to Shana Bet. Told my parents. My dad is here over there, video. And they were on board with it. There was one last obstacle. I went to Rav Kwalwasser, or I had scheduled a meeting with Rav Kwalwasser about Shana Bet, like many of you guys did in Chiral a few weeks ago when Rav Kwalwasser gave the speech. And so Rav Kwalwasser basically what are you doing here? Your Schachter's attendance, your sheer attendance, it's all bad, basically. So, but what Rav Kwalwasser did say to me was that, we're gonna save a spot for you, for end of August, September time, but what you have to do is you have to go home and you have to actually go to Midian and daven and actually learn like I should have been doing already, but okay. So I went back and I called up the Rav of my shul, Rabbi Trump, and he set me up with chavrusa, I think 5 nights a week, from 8:30 to 10. I was pretty consistent with it. Was pretty consistent with chakras. Well, I went probably almost every day, and yeah. So, but by the end of the summer, I was definitely feeling it. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. Call Rav Kwalwasser. I'm ready. I'm ready to come back. And by the time it was yeshiva, I was very ready to come back. I was excited, and I came back. And I'd say I was really put b'derech. Now, b'derech. And so this year, something I did was I decided, I'm gonna really focus, take time to learn basics. So Shnai Mikra, Nach, the Chasidus, Halacha, Chavetz Chaim, and yeah, so that's what I did. B'derech, Sefer B'derech. But really, all of this started. It wasn't just one day I was like, oh, I'm gonna just do Shana Bet. Like, there was definitely certain things rooted that happened earlier in the year that I really took in, whether it was, that amazing Friday night tish in the middle of the Muslim quarter of the old city, or at the end of, actually I think after Pesach, when we went to our Shomron Tiyul and Golan Tiyul. I think we had a barbecue there, and the guy whose house we were at, he was he was just saying these hills, everything, it's all yours. You got to come and take it. These moments of inspiration, and it reminds me of this story from Shlomo Carlebach. He was spending a Shabbos in Texas. He would go. Yes. He would go to, but it was some random town in the middle of Texas. That's what Shlomo Carlebach did. And Friday afternoon, he went to the mikvah. So that's what he would do. And in walked this British guy, looks kind of like a cowboy. That's how he was described. Yeah, I don't know. Just some British guy, but he was wearing a cowboy boots, whatever. And Shlomo Carlebach was like, what are you doing in here? And the cowboy starts speaking to him in Yiddish. He's like, whoa, you gotta tell me your story. So basically what he said was, when I was young, when I was little, my father took me to Vizhnitz one Shabbos to spend with the Vizhnitzer Rebbe. And the Vizhnitzer Rebbe, he was giving some chizuk to his chevra at a little Shabbos tish, and he said something really, really powerful. There's sometimes, there's moments in life when we really feel connected, when we feel connected to Judaism. Like I said before, it could have been that tish in the middle of the Muslim quarter. It could have been Purim or any holiday, Sukkot here, anything. And we really do feel connected, and we do feel like we want to pursue something more. But then the Yetzer Hara comes to us and he says, like, who is it that you're trying to fool? I know what you did yesterday. I know what you're going to do tomorrow. I know who you really are. Says the Vizhnitzer Rebbe, you have to tell the Yetzer Hara, have some compassion. Just give me 5 minutes to feel the holiness, to feel the kedusha. He puts a hand on this cowboy. At the time he was just a little kid, and he says, don't forget this. Don't ever forget this. I'm begging you. So I think the takeaway of this is, as Shana Aleph goes back to wherever you're from for Pesach, or as guys go to the army, as whoever's going to college moves on, like Rav Gersh says, don't be cynical, don't be skeptical, and if there's times you feel connected, take it and run. It doesn't matter what's going to happen tomorrow, what happened the day before, what's going to happen in a year. Just in that moment, take it and run. And you never know where you could end up. You never know how great you could really be.
Okay, and now we've got Anam Zamiros Hall of Famer, Josh Posner.
So I decided, I wanted to do something a little bit different, since a lot of people are going to be speaking about, roughly like similar ideas. So, you know what? Maybe this is a massive mistake, but I decided I want to, given that some of you may have not spoken to Rav Kwalwasser yet, I decided that I want to open up the floor. Okay, maybe like 2 or 3 questions, a little Q&A. If I feel like I should not answer the question, or it's beyond me, I'll probably just send it to a Niggunim, and we'll be on our way. So,
Pick me, please.
What was the biggest difference between Shana and Shana?
All right, great question. Okay, so I would say Shana Bet, you start to feel the urge to learn a lot more and be in the base for a lot longer. You start feeling like you want to challenge yourself day in and day out. You want to keep improving, and you realize that Lev is great for this. You realize you want to grow organically, and you want to just keep building on yourself day in and day out. And since you're in an environment that's really catered towards that, you're really going to realize your growth from the first day up until the day you leave. And it's not just that you're going to feel the urge to learn more. A lot of people around you are going to start to feel that too. So it creates, like you're gonna have like a great chevra that just want to keep pushing themselves and want to keep growing more and more. So if you want to continue growing your learning day in day out, definitely stay Shana Bet.
What was your deciding factor that brought you to Shana Bet?
That brought me here Shana Bet? Again, great question. I probably decided about halfway through Shana Aleph that I wanted to keep going, and I kind of had this realization, this is something I need to keep growing in, and I realized, look, I'm gonna have the rest of my life to work. Why would I start that a year early? I'm never gonna have this opportunity in my life again. I'm 18 years old. I may as well just keep going. So, yeah. Zach, my favorite roommate. That's a great question. He's sitting in the building, sitting right there. Gabe Pudel, Shlicha. Alright, one last question. One last question. Freedom Tish after this. Nah, I'm just kidding. Alright, Benji.
Who will carry TNT?
What?
Who's going to continue doing TNT?
I mean, he's sitting right next to me. He's right here. Adam Leibowitz, the legend himself. Get up for Adam. After this, he's for sure saying Shana Bet. Alright. Gavi's. No, you're shut up.
What's one thing that you're gonna do next year that is a big thing that you're gonna take from everything you learned in Shana Aleph and Shana Bet and focus yourself to stay Yashar there?
For sure. Okay. Sure, that too. Okay, that's a little further down the road, but for sure, have to keep that in mind. Maybe write a note to yourself, just in case whatever. But okay, one thing for sure I'm gonna take with me is that, look, I'm learning for most of the day right now, but just going to Rav Allen share. Rav Allen teaches you how to be successful outside of yeshiva. So the one thing is, even in YU, I'm gonna have 2 Siddharim a day. I'm gonna be with I'm gonna be in some of the I'm gonna have some of the top shiurim around me. But like one thing I need to do, even though I'm still gonna have 2 Siddharim a day. If I don't have my own learning seder, I don't know how successful I'm gonna be outside of YU. So even if that's just 15 minutes a day, or that's 30 minutes a day, I just need to be on top of myself for whatever that is, whatever I decide to make as my learning seder. I need to continue to have some kind of learning seder on my own outside of yeshiva.
3 o'clock every day.
Okay, never Gavi Aspler is going to go out of his kalim if he doesn't ask his question. What is your question?
Posner?
You could ask anybody you want.
Ask you?
You could ask.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, next.
Wait, no, this is important. What are you doing this summer?
What am I doing this summer? That's a great question. Whatever you do in the summer, make sure you set yourself up for success.
What are you doing?
That's all I'll say.
And with that, without further ado, we're calling upon Moshe Schachter.
What did I do? This card's sort of a mess, so sorry if this comes across as just a rambling mess. Words will come out of my mouth, and hopefully they sound good. There's a lot I want to say, and not a lot of time to say it, so I'll try to keep this brief. In last week's Parsha, we saw the Chet Ego, a communal sin which took place without strong opposition. And this is juxtaposed to in this week's Parsha, in which we see Bnei Israel as a community come together, excited to donate towards the building of the Mishkan. Bnei Israel are excited to redeem themselves in the aftermath of the Chet Ego. After failing as a community, they try to build something positive as a community. So Rabosai, in this juxtaposition of these events, we see a couple important Jewish values displayed, namely, the importance of a strong, positive community, firm in their values and their commitment to the Ribono Shel Olam, and the ability to improve despite your failures. These values are clearly present in the Levi Torah community. Like I said, it's a mess. These are the values that ultimately led me to make Aliyah, a decision I made on Svat Shabbaton last year, and which is a decision that I hadn't seriously considered prior to coming to Lev. I made Aliyah because in Israel I see the possibility for a Jewish community that will last, and because I believe that Israel is the best place for me to continue building upon my personal growth that I've developed in the time I've been at Levi Torah. If I can leave you with one final message, it's this. Don't bury any personal faults or trauma that you may have. It's important to confront them. Seek help from others if you need it, because the only way to move forward and grow is to slay your demons, or at least diminish their hold on you, and not to let them persist. So lastly, I'd like to thank all of the Rebbeim staff and Talmidim of this yeshiva. You have all in some way contributed to my personal growth in various areas over my time at this yeshiva, whether you see it or not. I look forward to coming back to visit when I return to Israel for university in August. Thank you.
Okay, 3 more.
What? 8.
I'm counting. Zach Schwartz.
Okay. Gemara Brachos, Daf Lamed Aleph, Amud Aleph. The Gemara tells us, Ein omdin li yitpalel lo mitoch atzvus, lo mitoch schok, lo mitoch something else that I deleted. Lo mitoch sicha, and not while speaking. So the Gemara tells us there are certain rules that you have to pass before you can daven, before you can speak to Hashem. And the Gemara goes on to tell us that you're only allowed to daven when the lo mitoch dvar b'telim, not between dvar and b'telim, ella mitoch simcha shel mitzvah, having a simcha of the mitzvah. So the Rav in Rishima Shiurim tells us, why is this that there's a certain, you can't do this, you can't do that, but you have to have simcha shel mitzvah. He says, in order to approach the king of the world, the king of the universe, the Hashem, there needs to be something that you do. You need a heter, because who are we? We're little people. We're Levi Torah, Shana Bet. We really don't know that much, and we're coming to approach Hashem. So he says, the Simcha Shel Mitzvah, the thing that allows you to come and speak to Hashem, is having a Simcha Shel Mitzvah. And he tells us, how do you get that? He quotes the Tosos on the Daf. It says, what does this mean, Simcha Shel Mitzvah? It means B'toch Divrei Torah, speaking Divrei Torah, speaking Dvarim Malachos. So last year, at around January time, when I was supposed to leave, I was actually planning on giving this exact speech. Or not last year, this year. Last year, at January time, there was a Shana Bet guy that left. So it was Ethan Naim. And he left us all with a big bang. So from this Gemara, and the next Gemara actually is where we learn what I'm about to say, is that he left us all off with an halacha. The next Gemara comes and tells us, and so too, just like you have to go into tefillah with b'toch b'divrei Torah and dvar halacha, so too you also have to go when you leave your friend. It says v'chein lo yiftor adam michavero elo mitoch lo mitoch sicha v'lo mitoch schok not with all these kalos rosh, not with asas, not sadness, and not with dvarim b'telim, but rather with the dvar halacha, with teaching him something new. So when you leave your friend, you have to teach him. You leave him with something nice, and we saw that from tefillah. What does that mean? That means leaving off happy, leaving off nice. When you teach someone something, it makes them happy. So I'm going to try to do that now. So everyone, there's halacha in Reish Chaf Zayin in Shulchan Aruch or Chaim that teaches us when you see something amazing, something natural like a thunder, lightning, huge ruach, you make a bracha. Say Baruch Shekocho Ugvurato Malei Olam. Obviously with Hashem's name, but let's not say that. So what we're going to do a practice, and then we're going to do it again. So what we're going to do is we're going to match the sound of thunder. We're all going to go like this for 5 seconds. We're going to stop, and then we're going to say Baruch Shekocho Ugvurato Malei Olam. All right. So we're going to practice, and then the second time we're going to do that. Does everyone know the words? Baruch Shek. Okay, we're going to do one practice sound, and then we'll do it again. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that was practice. Okay, now we're going to do it real. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. Baruch Shekocho Ugvurato Malei Olam. All right, I hope we trying to bet you guys. We trying to leave you guys off feeling happy and nice, having a good memory of Levat Torah. That whenever you hear thunder, and think of that halacha, and think of us, and think of all the happy times you had at Levat Torah.
It's not yet in our circles, because every Rebbe's dream job is to come and stay in the American bubble, teach in a post-high school American yeshiva. So we don't feel that crisis. But in many, many countries around the world, there is. A lot of you should really consider thinking about, you're talking about continuing your growth. Why am I saying this? Because Amos started this year off, or ended Shana Aleph saying, I think I'm going to go for Smicha. The end of Shana Aleph. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Smicha. I will say it's actually not crazy. Smicha is basically just more systemized learning for after you've finished whatever program you're in. So consider continuing to learn seriously, to be Talmidei Chachamim. At all points in your life, continue to grow. With that, I hand off the floor.
Okay, so as I'm sure for many of you, Gemara is really hard. I have a lot of trouble learning Gemara. But I decided I wanted to make a Siyum a couple weeks ago. I wanted to make a Siyum before going to the army, because I wasn't sure I was going to have enough time in the army to continue with Gemara. I've seen a couple guys do it, but I'm not sure I'll be able to. I'm not good enough at Gemara to do that. Maybe with the help of a shir I could do it. But so I figured I'll make a Siyum now. And I was having a lot of trouble getting started, and I was doing it for a couple days. And then I heard Rav Gerzi said this thing. There's this Rebbe, and he instead of people say I hate Gemara. Instead of saying that, he would take his Gemara and hold it and he'd say, "Oh, I love you, Gemara, my friend." He would dance around the base medrash. So I shot that in it. It was a little bit motivating. And then a couple days after I started learning the Gemara, we all remember when Adar Kafsky, she was a seminary student, she died. My cousins, their cousins with her from the other side. So I decided, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do. I wanted to be there. So I figured the best thing I could do would be to dedicate the Siyum to Adira, to eternalize her. Alright, so I'm dedicating the Siyum in the memory of Adira Shoshana about Moshe Yitzchak. I got a quick summary from my cousin Sophie about Adira. Also, she was extremely witty and wise, and she didn't care about social standards. She didn't care about what you had to do, what you had to conform to. She was her own person, and she was going for what she wanted, and she wasn't going to let people tell her what to do. And I think that's something that we could all learn. We should all be our own people. We shouldn't try to conform to social standards. It's not necessarily the greatest thing. and maybe most importantly is that she was a family person, very family oriented. And I won't pretend to comprehend why Adira had to go to Hashem, but I can hope that when Mashiach comes, I'll have the privilege to meet someone that was very close to my cousins. So, a quick thing about the Masechta, Maseches Tanis, on Daf Yud Aleph Amud Aleph, it talks about why do the saying, why do bad things happen to good people and why do good things happen to bad people? Yeah, it's on that daf. Why does that happen, right? So it says, well, we suffer all these things, right? A kapara in this world, so that we can merit olam haba, and the Rishaim suffer. The Rishaim they get all the good things in this world, so that they don't merit an olam haba because they don't deserve it. And then 10 dapim later on Daf Chaf Aleph Amud Aleph, there's a story of Nachum Ish Gamzu. He was sent to Rome to persuade the Roman emperor to be more kind to the Jews, and he was given a box filled with precious diamonds and gold and all these things, and it was stolen. It was a gift from the emperor and it was stolen. He stopped in an inn, he went to sleep for the night, and they took his chest, and they replaced it with another chest, and he didn't know. And he got to the emperor and he gave the emperor the chest, and they opened the chest and it's dirt. So what are you gonna do with dirt? So he says, oh, maybe it's the dirt from Avram Avinu that he threw at his enemies, and it became like swords and arrows to defeat them. And the Romans actually were trying to defeat. I don't know who they were trying to defeat. They were trying to defeat someone, and they used the dust and it worked. So Gamzu Tova. That's why Nachum Ish Gamzu is called Nachum Ish Gamzu. He said Gamzu Tova. Everything was for the good. Everything always worked out in his favor. And at the end of the day, right? So everything worked out. Then the emperor gave him riches because he ended up helping him. So it was all good. So this year I experienced things I never thought I would experience, never wanted to experience. Times I felt alone, times I felt afraid. I wasn't doing too well at certain times, and the whole time I thought, why is this happening to me? And not only me, just people around me. I just noticed so much things that it was just like, why is Hashem doing this? Like, why do people have to struggle? Why does someone have to not do well in school? Why does someone have to struggle in yeshiva? Why does someone have to struggle financially? Why do people need tzedakah? Why are people struggling? It's just not fair. And I realized in Maseches Tanis from these two things, it's called Gamzu L'Tova, because we're so close to Mashiach, and Hashem wants us to experience Olam Haba, Mashiach. I learned last year, I don't know how correct it is, but I believe it's correct, is that Shemayim is not Olam Haba. Shemayim is the waiting room for Olam Haba. Olam Haba is Mashiach. Mashiach is going to happen here. So Hashem wants us to merit in that, and that's why we go through these trials and tribulations, and in the end everything's it's Gamzu L'Tova. So I'll finish off with the last few lines of the Masechtas. It says, the Amar Ula Bira Amar Rabbi Elazar. So Ula Biraya said to Rabbi Elazar, said that Rabbi Elazar said, Atida Kadosh Baruch Hu Lasot Machol Tzadikim. In the future, the Holy One, blessed is He, right? Kadosh Baruch Hu will make a gathering of the tzaddikim. Yoshev b'neihem began Eden. He's going to sit amongst them in Gan Eden. Everyone's going to see, like literally, like they'll all see. They'll point towards Hashem. They'll be able to see Him. Shenamar, the pasuk says, "V'amar b'yom hahu." It will be said on that day, "Hina Elokeinu zeh kivinu lo v'yoshienu." This is our God who we waited for, that He would save us. Zeh Hashem kivinu lo. This is Hashem, we waited for Him. Nagila v'nismacha bo, and we'll be glad and rejoice with it in His salvation. So, Hajan Olach B'shlosh Prakim Aslika L'Masechet Tanis. I'll say the Hajan and the Kaddish. Also keeping in mind the Dir Shoshana about Moshe Yitzchak. Hajan alach meseket tani v'hajach alan datan alach meseket tani v'datach alan lo nishem minach meseket tani v'lo titna sheminan v'lo ba'alma hadin v'lo ba'alma date. Hajan alach meseket tani v'hajach alan datan alach meseket tani v'datach alan lo nitna sheminach meseket tani v'lo titna sheminan v'lo ba'alma hadin v'lo ba'alme date. Hajan alach Mesechetani v'hajach alan datan alach Mesechetani v'datach alan lo nitna sheminach Mesechetani v'lo titna sheminan v'lo ba'alma hadin v'lo ba'alma date. Yiritzon l'fanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu sheteheru Toratecha umanu tainu ba'olam hazeh uteher imanu le'olam haba Chanina bar Papa Rami bar Papa Nachman bar Papa Achai bar Papa Abba Mari bar Papa, Rafram bar Papa, Rachish bar Papa, Surcha bar Papa, Ada bar Papa, Daru bar Papa. Arev na Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha, B'finu fiyot amcha Beit Yisrael, V'niyah kulanu anachnu tzitzeinu v'tzitzei amcha Beit Yisrael, kulanu yodev shemecha l'omdei Toratecha lishma, Toratecha, ma'oivai tichak mini mitzvotecha kilo olam hili bi tamim b'chukecha leman lo evosh l'olam lo eshkach b'kudecha kivam chiyatani baruch atah Adonai lamdeni chukecha amen 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 sela v'ed. Modim anachnu lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu ששמת חלקנו מיושבי בית המדרש ולא שמת חלקנו מיושבי קרנות שאנו מסכימים והם מסכימים, אנו מסכימים בדברי תורה והם מסכימים בדברים בטלים, אנו עמלים והם עמלים, אנו עמלים ומקבלים שכר והם עמלים ואנו מקבלים שכר, אנו רצים והם רצים, אנו רצים לחיי העולם הבא והם רצים לבאר שחת שנאמר ואתה אלוהים תורידם לבאר שחת אנשי דמים ומרמה לא יחצו ימיהם ואני אפתח בך. יהי רצון מלפניך אדוני אלוהי כשם שעזרתני לסיים מסכתני כן תעזרנו להתחיל מסכתות וספרים אחרים ולסיימם ללמוד וללמד לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה לזכות כל התנאים והאמוראים ותלמידי חכמים יעמוד לי ולזרעי שלא תמוש התורה מפי זרעי וזרע תרי עד עולם ותתקיים בי הלכך תנחל אותך בשכבך תשמור עליך והקיצותי היא תשיחך כי וירבו ימיך ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים.
Just right before he finishes, just want to announce a few things. Right after Zach says the last line, Kaddish, so just understand, after this, we've got the Chowan, and Mishmar continues. There's no Sichot, but Tefillah Shir, of course there is. Everyone's welcome to join. And tonight, Mishmar is sponsored by alumnus Michael Cutler from 1617 in memory of Corey Reichenberg, whose